Indonesia is trying to tell us, trying to tell the world, trying to claim some legitimacy over West Papua. 1,000 people under a barrel of a gun deciding that they should become part of Indonesia. Complete fake, complete fraud, complete breach of international law. So this is why I say it's based on fraud, and we must expose that fraud. We must say it loud and clear. Indonesian claim to is not based on any history, and I want to tell you all about our history. In the 14th century, there were 3 Muslim empires in what is now known as Indonesia, and there was 1 Hindu empire around Bali. West Papua was never part of that Muslim or Hindu empire existed before Dutch colonial rule. So there is no historical basis for Indonesia to claim that West Papua should be part of Indonesia. When the Kingdom of Holland took over Indonesia as what is known as Dutch East Indies, this was in the 16th century. West Papua was not part of that colonial regime or colonial territory. West Papua became Dutch New Guinea in the 18th century. 200 years later, 200 years. So there is a historical colonial difference. Indonesia cannot deny this. When Indonesia fought for independence in 1947 against Holland, West Papua was not part of the campaign to free Indonesia to become independent. And when Indonesia became independent in 1949, West Papua was not part of the territory of Indonesia. It was still a colony of Holland. So there is no colonial, history together. They can't claim it based on colonial history. It is separate. One became a colony 200 years earlier, and one got independent separately. So I want you all to understand this. There is no justification in colonial history for Indonesia to claim West Papua as part of its colonial history. It's a bit like somebody going to Africa and saying all the British colony should become one country because we were under British rule. Try asking the Nigerians to become one country with Zambia or with other countries that were under British rule during colonial time. They would not agree. And why should West Papua agree to become part of Indonesia just because they had one colonial power? And let me also explain this too so we are all clear. We are all very, very clear. In 1961, Holland was preparing West Papua for independence, not to become part of Indonesia, and that is a legal requirement on a colonial power. So the process to independence completely different. Indonesia cannot lie to us anymore. But let me give you one very, very pertinent, important fact that I want you all to understand. What we are doing now. In 1969, when Indonesia forcefully, by fraud, annexed West Papua, the population inside West Papua at that time was about 2 million. Papua and New Guinea, the 2 UN territory that existed at the time, the population was about 2.5 million. Today, independent state of Papua New Guinea, we are a population of about 7.5 million, going up to 8 million. And guess what the population of West Papua is now? 2.5 after 50 years. Why? 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 And this confirms that the incorporation of West Papua into Indonesia has not worked. It's been a lie. It's been a deception. It's been a fraud. It's just simply part of Indonesian attempt to use West Papua as a base for getting all the resources and killing the people and murdering the people, subjecting them to a genocide and leaving them as backward people. That's what has happened in the last 50 years. And Papua New Guinea, we have been blind, we have been silent, we have been intimidated into fear. And tomorrow, West Papua will be free when you, Papua New Guinea, you stand up. Remember the Morning Star flag. The Morning Star comes out from the east. And Papua New Guinea, you are on the east of West Papua. And when you speak, that's when their star will rise. You all agree, huh?
Yeah.
And with many